Okay, this video is going to show you different placements of the Hushpuks on some crossbows. All crossbows are generally built the same as most of your compounds with split limbs. There are a few exceptions of ones with solid limbs, and I'll talk about that in a second. Crossbows are generally no different than a compound. The split limbs are set up the same way, your limb pockets and your cams. The question is, where do you start on crossbows? On crossbows, you have to be careful depending on where you go. Closer to the cam, with more loss of speed. The suggestion is that you start back at the limb pockets. On some crossbows, we've noticed more of a impact closer to the limb pockets. We suggest that you put the Hushpuks on the inside, starting down at the limb pocket, keeping them together with each other where you're not putting one offset to the other one, so you keep them in the same position on both sides. When you move to the other side, it's the same thing. When you start, put them on the inside, start here. You can put the Hushpuks on the outside because of the movability of them and repositioning and the sticky material. You can stick them on the outside and they will stay on the outside. For those who go through brush, or depending on where you hunt, if you're worried about them being knocked off, we suggest that you put them on the inside of the limbs. Once you put them on the inside, you shoot the crossbow, try to determine how much noise and vibration is affected. On crossbows, because they are so loud to begin with, you're not going to get 100% noise reduction on these. You will see some difference in noise, vibration, and harmonic tuning. The nice part about the Hushpuks are, because they're movable, you can take them off and then move them to another position. If I was going to move them and put them here in the middle of the limbs, do the same thing on the other side. Then I shoot the crossbow again, see if it's better or worse. You have to be careful once you get out to the limbs on the movement of the limbs, make sure that you're not putting the Hushpuks in the way of your cams, where your cams are traveling. So make sure you stay back enough that you don't affect those. Once you determine that it's better, depending on where you're at, some limbs are longer, so you have to bring them back to where they need to be. If this is the best result that you got as far as noise and vibration and your harmonic dampening, put them back, leave them there. You can put them on the outside. Just be careful depending on where you hunt. On some crossbows that have solid limbs, those with solid limbs, certain ones have bars and brackets on the front. You can put the Hushpuks up on the front of those to try to get your best results, and try to move them down the limbs. We suggest that if you're going to put them down the limbs, put them on the inside to protect them so they don't get knocked off. The crossbows are pretty much the same as a compound, where you start by the limb pockets or start by the cams and move them until you get your best results. On compounds, you can take them and put them on the risers, on sights, quivers. On crossbows, some crossbows, if you stick them on the frame, you're going to be in the way of the string, and you're not going to get as much vibration and noise and harmonic tuning as you would when you stick them up on the cam. Because these are movable, you can continue to mess with them and figure out where the best spot for you is. When these start to get dirty, remember, denatured alcohol or 91% or higher. Clean them off thoroughly, let them dry till the stickiness comes back, put them back on your bow, and you're done.